Today, we are going to talk about education, and we are the students of Women's College Tsuda, so we focus on the gender education. The member is Yuko Hashioka, Haruna Tanaka, and Maho Mitani. First of all, I want to tell you now educational status around the world. I will tell you two types of countries, developing country and developed country. Do you know a big number of girls cannot go to school in developing country? According to this graph, you can see that a lot of girls cannot take secondary education, and number of girls is less than number of boys in every educational stage. Then, secondary, I will introduce one lady. She is Tramati Harijan, who was born in Nepal. She married at the age of 12 and gave birth at 16. After she gave birth, she has concentrated on household and childcare, so she has not been able to read and write for a long time. At the age of 41, she started to learn write and read. Now she is literate. In developing countries, many people don't pay attention to the education for women, so two-thirds of world's illiterates are women. Through some researching, I found there is a bad cycle in education of developing countries. Please look at this image. Poor people cannot get enough education, so they cannot write and read. Because they are illiterate, they cannot get a good job, so they become poor hereditary. Now, 781 million people cannot write and read around the world. Here, we talked about developing country educational status. Now, I start to talk about developed country. Do you know gender gap index? These points are composed by economic, education, politics, and health aspects. Many Northern Europe countries are on top. These countries respect individuality and don't separate students with their gender. Their system bring up students' skills, and they have enough money to prepare good educational system for every children equally. Through studying these educational status, we talked the reason and the solution for these problems.
I will talk about the reason why girls cannot attend school. Why can't girls go to school? I will introduce three reasons for this problem. First of all, the people of developing countries have the custom to divide the role of man and women into. For example, people who developing countries tend to do housework only women. Moreover, they think girls need not go to school. Second, people in developing countries cannot go to school due to poverty. Many children in developing countries aren't able to go to school, especially if they don't have money for all brothers to go to school. Frequently, boys are given priority to over girls. Third, an environment is not stood to be a goal. For instance, School of Developing Countries has not had a toilet for girls. Furthermore, it is dangerous for girls to go to school alone because it takes time to go to school. Begin with why girls' education is important. Especially there are two effects when girls receive education. First of all, economic side. Increasing girls' education lead to economic development. For example, Bangladesh lays emphasis on improvement of the girls' education. As a result, in Bangladesh, gender disparity has become smaller. In 1991, girls were 83% against 100% boys, but girls has risen to 96% in 2000. Moreover, when girls receive education more than 1 year more than the average school year, lifetime income will raise by 20%. In addition, girls' education brings good health effect. If girls receive education for more than a year, infant mortality rate will decrease by 10%. In addition, we can control the spread of HIV, AIDS, and other preventable diseases.
Here, I want to introduce some effort to improve female education. First example is effort in foreign countries. In 2000, EFA, the Dakar Framework for Action, was adopted in World Educational Forum. Dakar is one of the states in Senegal. The fifth target was largely connected with promotion of female education. By the target, 59 countries achieved reducing disparities. But some problems like sexual violence or dangerous and unsanitary environment still existed. Also, for 3.5 years since 2005, in Taiz State, which is one of the states in Yemen, Taiz Area Broadening Regional Initiative for Developing Girls' Education has been carried out. In order to develop school models, which schools and local residents promote female education, reforming regulatory capacity of State Department of Education, and some activities were conducted. As a result, learning environment was changed, and children who go to school increased. Next, I introduced the effort in Japan. In 2015, Japan-US cooperation to improve female education in the world was announced, and both countries promised to be concerned actively about international organization which works in problems of gender education or NGO and supports them. In the next year, JICA, GPE, and Sophia University held education summit which dealt with the girls and female empowerment. More than 130 people, including students and the people involved in university, participated in the summit. Moreover, they discussed the importance of investment in girls and female education and gain a deeper understanding. By the way, what is needed to promote female education now? We think the following is important. First, changing in people's awareness for female education. It is most important and everyone can do through participating in summit or lecture. Especially it is the biggest target, that parents who do not want to let their daughters go to school become to understand merits of female education. Second and third are to establish variety of projects and action to government to change their educational system. These activities need many people, but both are necessary to change educational system and community. People's action on female education will approach the realization of equal education without gender gaps.